Chaylo Laurino, and I play Captain Xavier here on YouTube and in various other places. And these stories are Captain Xavier's various exploits in the various places that I go and play Captain Xavier. And this month you voted to hear about West vs. Zombies 2019, which is a humans vs. zombies game that is hosted somewhere in the west of America. It's a national invitational. Anybody can come, and people come from all over the place. And I've gone for it's happened twice now, and I've been to both of them. And both of them I played an NPC. I used the Black Knight mechanic of kind of like a human, but respawns like a zombie and adds flavor and interest and firepower and food, and it makes the game interesting. And West vs. Zombies is a slightly different HVZ mechanic than any of the other ones that I've ever played in. You know, University of Idaho, WSU, OSU, PSU, WWU, and even End War all follow the same kind of pattern of there's a large group of humans and they've got missions and the zombies try to take them out. And there's lots of variants on that, variants kinds of zombies and variant missions, and sometimes the humans are broken up into smaller groups, but generally they're going towards major objectives and they have like an hour to achieve them and then it resets, and variations on that. Ragnar Oktoberfest is a major difference because it's humans versus humans versus humans versus zombies, which is a whole different and interesting mechanic. West versus Zombies is different than any of those because rather than having all of the humans or large groups of humans going towards a specific objective for, say, an hour-long mission, it runs all day long, and small groups of humans, generally 5 to 10, come to the mods and are given mini-missions, little silly quest-like missions. Go to this location and take a picture, or for the next half an hour, or you have to, follow this path, but everyone has to be armed with Mavericks, or the youngest person in the group gets to call all the shots, and you have to go survive for a certain amount of time. And the zombies also get similar silly quests. Get a picture with, take a selfie with a human, take a selfie with a human while you're not tagged. Tag out a human, collect 20 darts, stuff like that. And when you complete the missions, you get tickets that can either be redeemed for prizes or can be put into raffles for really big prizes. They get a whole bunch of sponsors who donate blasters, mod parts, all sorts of other things that get donated, and you can then use your tickets to just straight up buy them. I'm going to use my 5 tickets to buy some Michelle 2 motors, or 1 ticket to get a 12-round magazine or a packet of darts, or what have you. And it's really, really cool that there are just constant prizes throughout the day, and there are so many missions that you can achieve that you can always buy a couple of the little things and put your name in for a couple of the big ones. And they were some serious big prizes, like Caliburns and complete custom jobs and vintage blasters that had been donated, and a whole crates of new in-box blasters that were donated by companies, and really, really cool prizes that everyone has the opportunity to earn throughout the day. And just because you get tagged into being a zombie doesn't mean you're suddenly out. And I really, really like that mechanic. It scales very, very well. Everyone is extremely involved because you're always in small groups, but there's lots of small groups out there. So you're always part of some mission that's being achieved, as opposed to being just another face in the crowd of 100 humans milling around campus. And I really like that format, and I'm glad that they've developed it, and I hope it continues to go forward. My involvement in this particular one, I again played a Black Knight, which meant that I kind of was like a human. I was armed, and I went out and fought zombies, but I could also attack humans, and if they got shot by me, then there were rules for how they were stunned, I think, couldn't move, or I think they just couldn't, their feet were planted. Which they could still shoot, but they couldn't, made it kind of hard to turn around, and you couldn't run away, and stuff like that. We could be stunned with socks, or if the zombies tagged us, we were just stunned, and then we respawned like 5 minutes later or something. And we could be hired. We were mercenaries, because that's what Captain Xavier has always been, has been a mercenary. And so humans could hire us to help them complete their mission. They're like, I will give you 5 Skittles if you will help me complete my mission. And until their mission was complete, or they were all dead, I worked for them. Or if I got tagged out, then obviously I couldn't help them anymore, unless the mission lasted longer than my restun time. Zombies, likewise, could also hire us to help them complete their missions, or to help them tag out humans, or what have you. It was just another interesting element to the game. I won't be doing it next year. Next year I will be leading the auxiliary on missions, and it should be a lot of fun. There were a couple of other events the night before, so it's a weekend-long event, or at least I think it was mostly a Saturday event. But most people started showing up Friday, and you could camp, or there was other things going on, just kind of a meet and greet, meet the folks, sign stuff, sell stuff, talk, shoot foam at each other. Then there was a couple of night missions that were just done purely for fun. They were kind of that little, one-off. All these people started as humans. People could volunteer to start as zombies. The zombies went out and hid in the woods and by the fort, and there were bridges, and it was a fabulous location. And the humans had to try to get through and acquire the MacGuffin, which I and the other Black Knight were guarding. They had to get through us, steal the MacGuffin, and get back through with the zombie horde attacking them. And it was a lot of fun because it was dark, and there were lights, and we were shooting at them, and the zombies were attacking them, and there's chaos. And they ran that a couple of times, and people would decide, I want to play a zombie this time, and it had no effect on what happened the next day. So it all reset, and it was a lot of fun. Then ran missions, helped people on missions, helped the zombies. I think the most interesting job that I got hired for during that particular game was the other Black Knight had gotten hired by a zombie, and the humans then hired me to break him out of his contract, to end his contract with the zombies. So first I was just harassing him. When humans would come by, I was just attacking him, and he would attack me, and we'd throw socks at each other, and it was hilarious and fun. And finally, I decided to just go talk to him. Like, okay, well, what exactly? I was hired to end your contract. What exactly is your contract? And like, I was contracted to help this zombie get a tag. And I'm like, well, all right, let's go get him a tag. That'll end your contract, right? Definitely wasn't how they expected me to break the contract. There wasn't really any other way for me to do it. Tagging him wouldn't do it. There was no way to, terminate the zombie permanently. So he and I stood next to each other and walked up to a group of humans with the zombie hiding right behind us, opened fire and tagged a bunch of them, and then he jumped through and tagged one. I'm pretty sure it was set so that a zombie could only get one tag at a time. As soon as they tagged someone, then they were stunned. And then came the transfer. They had a fabulous mechanism for how a human turned into a zombie, which was dog tags. Everybody got a dog tag. The original zombies got a zombie dog tag, and then the humans got soldier dog tags. And when a zombie tagged a human, the human had to hand over their dog tag to the zombie. And then they were a zombie, and they went and they did zombie things. But it was a really cool mechanic because it meant that by the afternoon, when the game had been going for quite a few hours, you'd round the corner and there'd be a zombie there with a dozen dog tags, and you knew this is one of the dangerous ones. And it was really, really cool. And then at the end, the zombies got to keep all the dog tags that they had captured, and then anybody who didn't have any, they had extras that, you left with a dog tag just so you could remember the event. But the people who got a whole bunch of tags have, a handful of dog tags somewhere hanging on their wall, which is just a really cool way of doing that. They did also, of course, have the bandanas, commemorative bandanas with their logo and all of the sponsors who were involved, which is super, super cool. Hopefully more people will sponsor them because it really is a really good event. And I don't know where the next one is. I've heard rumors, and I hope they're true because it would be a lot closer to me than the previous ones have been, and that would make it a lot easier for me to get there and for a lot of the crew to get there and local auxiliary to get there and local Nerf groups. Anyway, that would be really, really cool. The game then did culminate in a big last stand. So once they got to a certain point, we've got an hour left before we have to, get off site. All of the zombies that were out there went and rallied, and the humans had to go and hold a location. And originally it was going to be out in the middle of an open field, but it was really, really hot in June in Utah. And so we ended up fighting in the shade, which meant we actually had the fort to our back, which was part of the shade, and then there were trees that we were under. And so they moved the zombie respawn points. So the zombies had, it was either a 5-second or an instant respawn. I don't remember what it was, but it was really, really short. And the humans had to hold out for, I believe, half an hour. And I think we held for like 23 minutes. I got tagged, respawned, got tagged again, and then wouldn't have respawned before the time ran out. I think I had like a 10-minute respawn for that or something. Yeah, just wave after wave after wave of zombies. Some of the zombies had shields. They started to get more and more organized, and humans started running out of ammo That was really what it came down to, was 30 minutes of continuous zombie waves, you start to run low on ammo. You just can't carry enough. And melee wasn't allowed for the logical and obvious reasons that melee shouldn't be allowed in HVZ. And yeah, they wore them down. They got through. They broke through. It was great fun. Fun was had by everybody. It was a really, really good game. And I'm really looking forward to seeing how they play out next year, because it has expanded and improved every year. I got to meet lots of auxiliary. I sold patches. It was loads of fun. And I was given loot. I don't know if I covered this in the End War video, but I'm pretty sure I actually got this at West versus Zombies. The problem is the loot from the two events kind of blended together because they were a week apart and I never even got unpacked. But yeah, it's a stock, a Nerf standard attachment stock that is tentacles. And supposedly there either was, is, or is going to be a whole kit that goes onto a Strife to turn it into a full-on Lovecraftian nightmare. And I'd love to get the rest of it if it exists. I know Nick wants it, one of the corporals in the crew, which, yeah, he would. So yeah, that was West versus Zombies, and it was a lot of fun, and I'm glad that it's gaining momentum. Hopefully they can schedule it a little bit further away from End War, because having it this, the week before End War 2 years in a row has definitely not helped, because if people have to choose which one they're going to go to, End War currently is just the bigger name, though quite honestly I think West versus Zombies is the more fun. End War does then have FoamCon and the Blaster Tag Association games, so yeah. But I would definitely encourage, if you're anywhere in the West, to come to West versus Zombies, because it's so much fun. And you will leave with loot. Loads of loot, because that's how it works. Right, let's talk about the story options for next month. I'm going to go ahead and put the two other options that were on this month's survey back on there, because it was actually very, very close. So the Nerfing for Autism event that I went to in North Carolina, that will be one of the options. And Ragnar Oktoberfest 2019 will be an option. I'm then going to go, for the third option, all the way back to my first year in the Empire of Adria, to the first war where I was ever hired as a mercenary, which was the First Holy War, which was fought between the Church of Adria and the Church of St. Warhammer. And the origin of the Church of St. Warhammer is fascinating and a great story, and will be part of that story. So the survey for that will be down in the description. Vote on which story you would like to hear next month, and I will tell it. Thank you for watching.